And so, my friends, after wandering through a long desert, we've made it. Here we are. I'm proud. I'm so glad to say that today, it is update day, my dudes. That's right, finally, Minecraft 1.21.30, it's out now. From the bundle to brand new battle patterns to a ton of item updates, oh boy, this one's a big one. Sit back and get comfy because today, just like we've done for so many updates in the past, let's take a look at everything new in the update. Now let's kick it all off today with our brand new friend over here, sitting at the water pondering life. You know how it goes, just casual things. The experimental villager updates, I wish I could say they're alive and well, but at the least when it comes to villager updates, this buddy has a brand new change. Its name right there, Mason. It has a nice ring, a float to it. In the world of parody updates, our newfound friend Mason, you see, well, previously this thing would have been called a stone mason. And for the sake of parody, it's been simplified. Now, Minecraft 1.21.30, this is a pretty large update and an update that's been in development for a hot minute now. This gigantic update began development on August 1st, 2024 and stretched across 5 previews. Very sneakily, in one of the earlier previews, if you pause the game, you'll find a brand new button right here. This is a screenshot button. If you tap that button while you're in the menu, you'll get a screenshot taken. Pausing the game again and tapping on my name over here to head over to the screenshot gallery, all we need to do is tap on, well, the button that says screenshot gallery. Once you tap on that button, you'll have every single screenshot that you've taken and the date and time that you've taken them to. Now, when this new fancy screenshot button was added, there was no shortcut, but inside of the update, oh, you better bet there is. Now, depending on what you're playing on, if you're playing with a controller, the shortcut might be different, but by default, on Windows 10, with a keyboard, F2. Rarity. So you know how life goes. Sometimes things are a little bit more common, other times things are a little bit less common. Well, inside of this update, rarity is a huge part of it. So for starters here, this rarity system, it's technically nothing new, being in the game for years and years and years. Only inside of this update, the rarity system has seen quite a refinement and revamp. Now, the rarity system really has to do with nothing inside of the game other than the color of the text of the item. So you see where it says trident and it's like light blue? Well, that's because the trident is classified as a rare item. Now, in Minecraft 1.21.30, we've got a total of 4 different rarity tiers. The basic one is white, and it's called common. Our next tier, getting a little bit more rare, is going to be yellow, and it's called uncommon. Then we have rare itself, which is light blue, and then finally, we have epic, which is reserved for the very rarest items in the entire game. The rule for an item falling into a tier is pretty straightforward. If it's a craftable, and more so like a craftable common item, then it's just going to default to common. And speaking of common, inside of this update, we have 2 things that have been downgraded to common rarity, the golden apple and the end crystal. And moving things up a little bit, if something's a little harder to find, maybe not really even craftable, it might be considered uncommon. Inside of this update, considered uncommon, all of these discs right here, but not every disc, all of these trim, but not every trim, ominous items, and that banner, all of the goat horns, all of the sherds as well, including not just angler, trust me, chainmail, echo sherds, nautilus shell, disc fragment, recovery compass, and sniffer egg as well. Bonus rule. So this rarity system, it kind of has a little rule that it's going to follow. Let's say inside of the crafting table, I was crafting something, and that thing, whatever it is, well, inside of the recipe, I'm using something of a higher rarity. For example, a recovery compass. If I was crafting one, we have the compass, which is a common rarity, and then we have the echo shard, which is an uncommon rarity. Well, because we have an uncommon item in the recipe, then the item that is crafted needs to be at least uncommon, maybe better. Rare. Well, the rare tier has a couple new entries to it, including the enchanted apple, the trident, these trims right here, a couple of batter patterns, no spoilers, so keep that in mind, we'll come back to it, the discs of this nether star, and last but not least, the wither skeleton skull. And to now, the rarest tier, the best tier out of all of them, magenta for epic. Inside of this update, we have 3 brand new epic tier items, the elytra, the silence armor trim that's so hard to get, and the ender dragon head. Whew, quite a lot, but for our rarity updates in this update, that's just about it. Do me a favor, tap that like button for me real quick. Appreciate it, and let's move on. Minecraft 1.21.30, the enchanting update of all time. Inside of this update, we have a change to naming of enchantments. Take a look at this and you tell me if you notice it. If you're Bedrock gang, you notice this immediately. Oh, this is so much better. An enchantment that only has 1 level, well, it no longer has that pointless 1 afterward, like Infinity 1, Flame 1. No, it's gone. It's just whatever it is now, like Mending, Curse of Vanishing. It's true, authentic self. How beautiful. A little bit less beautiful, perhaps, the fox, the poor fox. Prior to this update, this thing had a total of 20 health inside of this update, and inside of this update, I hate to do it, but I have to for science. The fox, its health has been halved all the way down to a total of 10. Alright, so I'm actually genuinely devastated that I didn't think of this one sooner. Inside of this update, brand new death messages. Alright, so in a more normal, maybe ethical situation, these messages would pop up when you're fighting your boy, your friend inside of the realm, maybe. But for today, I think we can show them off using a dog. So both of these two new death messages inside of this update, they involve the mace. If I fall all the way from up here and hit the dog right there in chat, like, it was smashed by me. Back up all the way up here at the top of the mountain. Let's say my mace had a name and I did that same move. Well, now, the name of the player or mob was smashed by whoever did it with whatever did it. Subscribe was smashed by Waddle Waddle with my finger. That's beautiful. Redstone, one of the most advanced things in the game. Tragically, inside of this update, that new fancy redstone torch that we've seen on Minecraft and Java for like a month, maybe more now. Yeah, well, tragically, it didn't make the cut of this update anywhere. However, we do have some changes, block state changes to a couple of the blocks, parity updates to match Minecraft to Java again. For example, the mangrove root. We can now send power right through this block. On the other hand, the beacon, no longer can you do that. On the other hand, the sea lantern, yep, that's not going to work. And I don't know if this is going to show off the example here, but if you look quickly, the power didn't cut through the TNT. Instead, the TNT just, it exploded. Moving on, also inside of this update, the flattening. It continues and starts to slowly wrap up, I believe. We have 3 different types of blocks that have been flattened inside of this update. We're talking the purple blocks, we're talking the 2 different types of sponges, and the walls as well. If you're curious about these new block IDs here, when it comes to the walls, we're looking at something like that. The sponge, we're looking at something brief like that. And purple, pretty brief as well, something like that. You know, it's kind of funny. When I was starting this video today, I had a list of all of the updates like going on, and I didn't really realize how heavily focused on parity this brand new update is. Because our next change is, again, another parity update here from Minecraft to Bedrock to match Java. All of these items inside of this chest have brand new names inside of this update. Now, what they were before, for example, the steak, I think that was like cooked beef or something. Sugar cane, I think it was sugar canes. And I'm not going to have the exact name of what they all were before. Daylight sensor. Enchantment table. But yeah, every single one of these items inside of this chest that you're looking at here, it's got a brand new name inside of this update. Probably our most notable name switch-ups are the ones down at the bottom of the chest, but yeah, everything inside of the chest is valid. So a little fun fact for you, mob flying. Did you know there's a, oh my god, you're greedy. How many seeds do you need? Did you know there's a little quirk to the mob flying AI that involves the prioritization and preference of types of logs within the game's code? Basically, that means if you have a mob that is a flying mob, well, those flying mobs will prioritize trying to land on logs. Well, inside of this update, we have a small update to mob pathfinding AI when it comes to those mobs that like to land on things like parrots. Those changes make it a little bit technical. They're right here. Next up, the focus of 1.21, the trial chambers. So if you recall, earlier this summer, the trial chamber received a big upgrade. After its initial drop at the beginning of the summer, in about the middle of it, the trial chamber received new rooms and small new components. Well, tragically, and I hate to say it, but Bedrock gang, the new rooms, you still have to wait on those. According to the developers, due to some bugs with the development of the structure, in order to preserve the quality of the structure, they had to go ahead and remove the new rooms called encounters for this update. However, when it comes to new pieces of the structure, those things are definitely here. They made the cut. Prior to this update, dotted around the trial chamber, most commonly, right before you head into a proper battle chamber, you would find an empty chest sitting at the entrance. Empty chest no longer. Instead, we have hopper barrel dynamic duo. Now, this thing is going to generate at the entrance to just about every single chamber. The barrel will always be empty, the hopper likewise. The point of this brand new setup here is you walk up to it, you drop off some of the things that you found inside of this chamber, like maybe some of the loot, and clear out your inventory a little bit. Afterwards, when you're done, you can go ahead and swing back over to the local barrel and take everything back and bring it on home. And unfortunately, when it comes to the trial chamber for our other adjustments, well, that's actually just about it. Those are the only trial chamber changes aside from some bug fixing and going on inside of this update. Rewinding things back a little bit of time now when we were talking about rarity, did you notice something big with the armor trim? Because take a look at this. The names of the armor trim, they've been shuffled and reset. Basically, every single armor trim, the name of that item is now whatever that trim is called instead of smithing template. And this is beautiful. That means when you hold it, you just can see that it's called the wild armor trim. Oh, that is wild. In the world of technical behind-the-scenes update, inside of this update, block tags. We have a ton of brand new tags right here. Now, these tags right here, they're going to mainly be used by add-on creators and mod makers to make the game feel a little bit different. Fans of the keyboard out there, we also have expansion of a full keyboard gameplay, and unrelated to that, a small change when it comes to those help pop-ups. Alright, so I don't know how many of you are detail-oriented, more specifically detail-oriented when it comes to the specific setting names inside of the settings, but we've got a change in this update. So to check this one out, first things first, you need to be back over on the main menu. Tap settings, then tap a video, then go ahead and start scrolling down. Near the bottom here, we're going to find something called frame rate limit. Previously, this little toggle right here was known as maximum of frame rate. If I go ahead and lower this, then my max frame rate, well, I mean, it'll be lower. You'll also have a little information pop-up right here explaining why you might want to lower your frame rate. I don't think this part is new, though. The big thing, the thing that you definitely saw, at least partially on the thumbnail if you studied it real closely, inside of this update, banner patterns at last. Rejoice, they're beautiful. Look at how good they all look now. These banner patterns right here, not only is their name going to say whatever the pattern actually is now, it's so much more just like straight up and easy, but take a look at these beautiful icons. Every single icon sort of corresponds to whatever is going on with that banner and the pattern that it will create. Now, for once, in the upcoming Java update, we actually have a Bedrock parity update as well, where some of the unique banner patterns on Bedrock Edition, for example, Field Masons, that was a Bedrock exclusive, well, it'll be making it to Java soon. But that's beside the point. These brand new items right here, they are so beautiful looking. They look so good. This is gonna go so hard inside of like a bathroom. Maybe inside of an office, you need a paper document on the desk. Or really just maybe in general, you're trying to take a quick look at items. Well, I mean, that's beautiful. You can tell what is what now. This is so nice. Knock on wood, hopefully it won't happen again, but over in the main menu. Actually, inside of the realms menu, I don't have a realm, so it's not going to be here, but inside of the realms menu, where your realms backups are, the backups will now be listed by the date they were created. Knock on wood, I hope realms doesn't break in this update again. That was a mess. A command gets a little bit stronger inside of this update. We're talking more specifically the reload command. There's a brand new parameter, which is all. If I go ahead and say reload all, well, literally everything is reloaded. The world, the textures, every single thing you could think of, just like that. Minecraft Education Edition. It's a little known, but definitely known, version of Minecraft. Inside of that version of Minecraft, we've got a couple exclusive items, and inside of this update, those exclusive items, they've been flattened and changed. The chemistry table. We have brand new block states. What in the world am I looking at? Is this like Tinker's Construct or something? And then also in an Education Edition related change, the colored torch. Those things have been flattened. And then also last but not least, TNT. We have two different types of TNT in Education Edition. Those have been flattened too. Whew, and so the changes inside of 1.20, 1.30, aside from a whole chunk load of bug fixing, the main changes, those are just about it. But when it comes to the changes inside of this update, that's not just about all. Inside of the experimental updates right here, the bundle, it's taken 4.5 years, whatever, but the bundle, it's here, kind of, not really. It's experimental, but it's also here. At last, we've finally done it. So if you enable the bundle inside of your world, well, then when you jump into the world, first things first, you need to craft something. To craft that thing, you need one piece of leather and one string. It's so affordable. Inside of the crafting table like that, we get our hands on a bundle. Now, after that, when holding the bundle, this is what it looks like. If I press the use button and nothing's in the bundle, well, nothing happens. Instead, if I go in the inventory and then start dragging things and using them on the bundle, like dropping them, well, those things are going to slowly queue up inside of the bundle. Now, as I start to add things to the bundle, my little info pop-up, as you can kind of see briefly, it's slowly expanding. This pop-up will expand until you have 3 rows. After that, you add one more thing, and it kind of bumps down, and then you get a number with even more items. Now, while hovering over the bundle, at least with my mouse, if I go ahead and scroll wheel the bundle, well, then I'm going to start scrolling through the bundle, and I can actually pull individual items out. Let's say maybe I wanted, I don't know, the crafting table back. I can go ahead and grab that from the middle of the bundle, drop it down, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a great way to be able to take anything out that you can see in the bundle. The bundle has a stack limit. That stack limit is 1 stack of items. So 1 stack of items is different for every item in the game. Some items stack in 64, some stack in 1, some stack in 16. While holding the bundle, if I tap Q to drop an item, well, I dropped the whole bundle. While holding the bundle, if I tap use to use an item, 1 item will be thrown out of the bundle. That item that'll be thrown out of the bundle, well, it goes in order of the bundle. So that means paper, then fence, fence. Paper, fence, fence. Just like that. It's pretty beautiful, really. Now, keep in mind that the bundle is meant to be an early to mid-game solution or even late game for those long exploration trips. It's meant to just appease your inventory a little bit so you can fit things into 1 slot. It's really great for the trial chamber. Just like how it is for hardcore Minecraft and some of the other stuff, it looks like this thing might stay as experimental for quite some time, but it's just so nice to finally have this thing in game. At last, right? Minecraft 1.21.30, the entire brand new update, that's just about it for you. Being the first update to drop since the brand new drop system was officially announced, I don't believe this one is considered technically a drop, but it is an update for sure. And for the other updates and some of the drops that we've had already, well, you're going to want to check out the update recap playlist that's on the end card. To stay in the loop for every single future Minecraft to drop an update, make sure you subscribe, and if you enjoyed today's video, tap that like button. It helps me out huge time YouTube side. My patrons, Ground Crazy May, Medical Boomstick, Fire Dragon 19, Steve M, and Nick C, thank you all so much. If you want to support me and the channel a little bit more directly for some cool benefits, tap join for more info. But anyways, that's just about it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.